Welcome to our lazy RV kitchen in my house. So this week we are prepping for our Disney trip to Fort Wilderness, and we're doing a few meals so that we are not eating all the time in the parks. I'm still a little sad that they did away with their dining plan. And now that we've had our moment of silence for the Disney dining plan, let's talk a little bit about Eva's mad about the dining plan. Let's talk a little bit about a barbecue pork penne pasta bake. So first of all, we have 2 pounds of lovely smoked pork butt or shoulder. Watch the other video on with Mark smoking the pork, and he will tell you which one it is. We buy whatever's on sale. So anyway, we've already smoked this ourselves. So that's obviously going to take a little bit of the time in prepping this recipe. So for this recipe, we are going to use some frozen peppers and onion blend. We're going to use my good old faithful Rotel. Rotel, if you would like to sponsor me, I'm clearly in love. We've got another can of cheddar cheese soup, some broth, chicken broth, and ground cumin. Now, you can also add some barbecue sauce. I'm going to add a little to taste because this is a hot barbecue sauce. If you would like a regular barbecue sauce, you may want to consider one that's not necessarily sweet. Maybe something a little tangier for this recipe. So let's get started. Alright, so I've got my favorite pot and my favorite burner. And I'm just going to add some olive oil. Now I'm going to take this plate of barbecue and I'm going to let it get a little warm. We want it to caramelize just a little bit. Remember, this is, I'm going to break that big piece up a little bit. This is pulled pork, so it's going to have a little bit of the fat in it that's going to render down. Now, you may say, Sarah, isn't that a lot? Well, apparently my family also likes to eat, and they want some food for dinner tonight. So this is going to be a make-ahead meal and dinner. So, bon appetit. All right, I'm just going to let that sort of hang out. I'm going to let everybody kind of get mixed in. Just kind of get down, get a little warm before I start adding some of the other ingredients. So I'm going to bring my ingredients over here, because you know, you can. My dog says hello. So I'm going to take my barbecue sauce. I'm just going to do a drizzle. Now, this is quite spicy. So, if you're like, but that's not enough, I know. It's also going to be just right. I'm going to take my frozen peppers and onions. I'm going to put, looks like somebody left the peel on that one. I'm going to put them in, and then I'm going to stir it up. Just stir everybody, get everybody sort of happy. Get everybody down in there until we have a goodly amount of peppers and onions. I think I'm only going to need half a bag or 3/4 of the bag. So then I'm going to add my cumin and some chicken stock. One, so that the barbecue on the bottom doesn't get too... I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of ground cumin. If you don't really like cumin, you can substitute maybe coriander or another sort of milder spice that you enjoy. So I'm adding my chicken stock. And of course, I'm going to stir once I've added the chicken stock. Break everybody up. Just want to let everybody get happy. I mean, how could you not be happy? You're in a whole pot full of peppers, onions, and barbecue pork. I mean, if you got to go some way, that'd be a way to go. All right. So we're going to add our Rotel. And one of the things that I do when I am cooking is sometimes I will pull out ingredients and say, okay, I need this much. And I may not need all of it. That's okay. So I'm going to stir it in. I'm going to see how much I need. I'm thinking I'm only going to need about 2 cans of Rotel. I think that might be good. Let's see. Because it's going to be a thicker, sort of meaty sauce. Second can. Okay, we're looking good. Looking good. So I think I'm only going to use 2 cans of the Rotel, but if you want to use 3, you use 3. It is a free world. Well. Okay, we're going to get this all nice and incorporated. This is our cheddar cheese soup. Now, I like to pour the liquid into the can so you get some of the excess in it. I promise it's going to taste better than it looks right now. You just got to get it incorporated really good. And now we're just going to let it, just going to see how it goes. So right now it's still kind of thick, so I'm going to get me another, ooh, now she's looking tasty. Okay. All right, I'm going to give me another thing of chicken broth to kind of thin it out. And then we're going to let it heat, put our cooked pasta in, and be ready to go. I'll let everybody sort of thin out just a little bit. All right, we're just going to find a reason to save that little bit, other than to put it in the pot. And we are going to turn the heat up just to get everybody heated through. Now where we're from, we do pulled pork, not chopped. And if you are in North Carolina, there's a big difference between Lexington and Eastern style barbecue. I'm just going to go on record and saying that vinegar is better. If you know, you know. All right. Okay, we're going to let it come up. We're going to let it heat through, and then we are going to combine with our pasta. Okay. So I'm going to take about half of my cooked pasta. I did grease the bottom of our container. Now, when you're doing freezer meals, you want everything to be at room temperature before you put it in the freezer. You don't want to put hot foods in your freezer. You can get all sorts of problems that way. Just say no. Okay, so that's about half. I am going to use this other half. This is dinner. Okay, so I am getting our pasta sauce out of the pot. I will say one of the best things that I have in my kitchen is this quart measuring cup. It's everything nice. Makes it a little bit easier to kind of zhuzh around your pasta. I'm now going to let this come back to room temperature. Now, when you set it to bake at 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes until it's hot and bubbly, I would probably go maybe 20, 25, depending on how small your RV oven is. You want to put a layer of cheddar cheese on top so it gets nice and crunchy. So, if you try this recipe, let me know what you think.